On the news, Senate and House of Representatives continue engagement on tax reform bills. Senate investigates Central Bank of Nigeria on 30 trillion naira Ways and Means facility and the Anchor Borrowers program. Plus, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies harps on good conduct as postgraduate students set for studies. Hello and welcome to Parliamentary News. I am Ene Ojonugba. The vision of President Tinubu is to create a fair, transparent and efficient tax system that will drive economic growth, encourage investments and ultimately improve the standard of living for all citizens. Stakeholders have in the last 3 days been brainstorming with lawmakers on the legislative framework. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
When the federal government introduced the proposed policy on tax reforms, some segments of the public expressed reservations. The intense consultations and engagements with stakeholders by both chambers of the National Assembly have paid off, as confirmed by the Senior Special Assistant to President Tinubu on National Assembly Matters Senate, Senator Bashir Lado.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has the nation's best interest at heart in introducing these reforms. It will improve investments and also ultimately improve the standard of living for all Nigerians.
They would be able, with the VAT offices, they will be able to know exactly what Kano is contributing, and they will be able now to apply that in the derivation principle.
Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Local Content has reiterated its resolve to ensure improved business environments for economic growth and job creation.
When we're talking about local content, we always think about the oil and gas. It is not. It also concerns the mature industries, construction, manufacturing. Are they able to apply local content in their own area of operation? So we'll be interested in the mature industry as well as the oil and gas industry sector.
In another development, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Megari Dingyadi, has reassured Nigerians that at the heart of the Renewed Hope agenda is the desire to develop the capacity of citizens to compete favorably with contemporaries across the world.
We are going to work together to ensure that we improve the services that we are providing to Nigerian workers, to Nigerians in general, and to our dear country.
When we train these people, they will become industrialists, they become entrepreneurs, and the unemployment will be reduced. So tomorrow you will not even see, okay, what is NTA doing?
We would not want to watch Nigerians being exploited. We would not want to watch Nigerians' welfare being tampered with. We would not stay to watch Nigerians and employers not obeying what the Constitution says.
The Senate Committee on Labour has asked agencies under the ministry to do more on skills development among the youth population. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Public hearing on the 4 tax reform bills has commenced in the House of Representatives. The leadership of the House is assuring Nigerians of a thorough scrutiny of the bills with a view to considering their proposals before passage. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports.
The 4 proposed tax bills contain crucial reforms put forward by the executive arm of government to expand the nation's tax base and strengthen tax administration in Nigeria. The House leadership is confident that the bills will repeal archaic tax laws and modernize tax administration.
This public hearing will help us identify areas requiring amendment, clarification, and improvement, while also considering the compatibility of these bills with the 1999 Constitution.
These 4 bills represent a transformative step for Nigeria's tax system by streamlining tax laws, improving administration, and enhancing revenue collection.
Interest groups made observations bordering on definition and accreditation of tax agents, as well as the need to eliminate conflict of jurisdiction in tax administration and revenue collection.
We should encourage collaboration
integration of operations between customs and the tax authority, not to abolish customs or not to repeal a law because we want to do another law.
We want a situation whereby, tax practice as it is not just left to every or any professional body.
We are strongly of the opinion that VAT should remain at 7.5%. The threshold for tax exemption should be increased from the current 800,000 per annum as proposed in the bill to 2.5 million per annum.
As lawmakers note the observations, their focus will be on a tax system that serves the best interests of Nigerians. For the rest of this week, more Nigerians will converge on this hall to make their proposals towards fine-tuning the 4 tax reform bills before Parliament, with a view to creating an efficient and effective tax system in Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikpe, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Disability Matters is advocating tax exemption for persons with disability as part of ongoing efforts to promote an inclusive society. Chairman of the committee, Bashiru Dawodu, stated this during an interaction with a group of persons with disability at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Dawodu expresses optimism that tax relief for persons with disability and organizations committed to their issues will encourage compliance with the provisions of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018.
Since there's public hearing now, we're in position to actually, make the bill better. No doubt about that. The committee feels that PWDs should not pay tax. We're interested in the income tax, that beyond limit, the rates should be reduced almost to nothing. We think that there should be tax credits for folks that are doing right by the law. So if you're a corporation, a business that is retrofitting your building so that it can be accessible to persons with disability, we think you should have tax credit in that regard.
The Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Ways and Means Advances has directed the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to provide all the necessary documents to facilitate its ongoing investigation into the 30 trillion naira Ways and Means Facility and the Anchor Borrowers Program. National Assembly correspondent Amina Said reports that this was during a meeting with stakeholders to ensure financial prudence.
Leading discussions, Committee Chairman Senator Isa Jibrin emphasized the importance of the investigation towards ensuring accountability and transparency in managing public funds.
The Nigerian public is very much interested in the way and manner we handle this assignment.
Consultants and members of the committee spoke on the need to provide Nigerians with information on how funds were utilized to address the nation's economic challenges.
In 2022, there was no record of ways and means in the document provided to the consultants. In 2023, sir, we have 819 billion naira as supplementary budgets.
Sooner we get all the relevant documents, sooner we can wrap this up and know the way forward.
Representative of the central bank denies claims of stalling the process, maintaining that all documents have been forwarded.
We have a folder containing all the required documents for the investigation of ways and means. The folder included the Consolidated Revenue Funds, which is a CRF, which is where the ways and means is. We have provided supporting documents in the folder. We also have schedules.
It could be recalled that the committee was inaugurated a year ago by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, to probe details of the program and monies given to state governments, manufacturers and banks, among other individuals, which raised the current debt profile of the country. From the National Assembly, Amina Saidu, NTA News.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, says It's committed to providing an enabling environment for learning at all levels of postgraduate studies. The Director General was speaking in a message during an orientation exercise for postgraduate students of NILS Uniben in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
These are the faces of fresh intake for postgraduates at the National Institute ready for studies. They are to undergo Masters in Legislative Studies, Parliamentary Administration, and Masters in Legislative Drafting. Declaring the orientation open, the Director General, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, represented and joined the students to ensure due diligence while at NILS.
The leadership of the Institute has considered it very expedient to run the Institute, including its postgraduate programs, in such a way and manner that will be smooth, peaceful, and without interruption, because beyond running these postgraduate programs, the Institute is also engaged in provision of other technical services to the entire Nigerian legislature and democratic institutions in Nigeria.
Some of the students expressed readiness to follow the extant rules of the Institute.
The orientation was quite impressive and I enjoyed the moment.
It feels good to be here, starting this journey. I'm a lawyer, so I know that complying with rules and regulations is one of the things that we should do.
This will help us in our place of work, normal day-to-day activities, our election processes, and other things generally.
About 200 students have been admitted this year for postgraduate studies. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
We now take a short break. The news continues shortly.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
I'm right here at the Lagos State House of Assembly, where early this morning news filtered in that the incumbent speaker, Mojisola Miranda, actually had her security details removed from her. And so that leaves her with no security details at all. And a few minutes after that, we heard that the removed speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, actually drove into the complex with detachment of policemen. Now, around this House of Assembly complex, people are gathered here, journalists are also gathered here. But outside the gate, you have massive loyalists of the removed speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, rallying support, singing and dancing. Some even came in large numbers of commercial buses. Now here, the lawmakers have actually addressed the press, and they said it without mincing words, that the leadership of APC should wade into the crisis of the assembly before it degenerates. And after that, the removed speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, also addressed the press, saying that he remains the speaker, he has not been removed until due process has taken place. We're still staying here at the House of Assembly complex to get latest developments as they unfold. From the Lagos State House of Assembly here, I am Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Thank you for staying with us. Gombe State House of Assembly has pledged to implement all meaningful contributions from stakeholders for the passage of the Gombe State Water User Association Bill 2025. Speaker Abubakar Mohammed Lugerewo made this commitment during a public hearing session aimed at enriching the bill. Abbas Mikeno reports.
The State Assembly's willingness to incorporate stakeholders' feedback demonstrates its commitment to creating effective legislation. Represented by the Deputy Speaker Saddam Bello Sali, Lugerewo believed that the bill, when passed into law, will impact positively on water usage and management in the state. Organized by the House Committee on Water Resources and Environment, the public hearing is one of the legislative requirements for the state laws. The bill is expected to protect the interests of members of associations for water users concerning the expansion and transformation of irrigation farming to align with global best practices.
The farmers will now take responsibility and ownership of all water in Gombe State. That is what the SPIN project is all about.
Chairman House Committee on Water Resources and Environment, Musa Manager Zambuk, representing Yamal 2 West, said that the event is a culmination of a collective effort towards enacting a law that promotes the yearning and aspirations of the electorates.
The concept of this bill came as a result of the SPIN project. The federal government is part of it, and is a major factor to be considered before we can benefit from the irrigation program, which the World Bank will start giving us in the state. This bill.
The bill, with 45 sections, is designed to improve the irrigation farming in the state, which in turn will drive the economy of the state. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
A bill seeking equitable distribution of resources tagged Nasarawa State Character Commission. A privately sponsored bill has gained second reading at the Nasarawa State House of Assembly. Adams Abdul Kadri reports that the Assembly also adopted the reports of 8 joint committees on a bill that seeks to provide free hygiene products for girls in public schools by the state government.
The bill is aimed to regulate and ensure equity and fairness in the distribution of the state resources. A private sponsored bill by a lawmaker representing Away North, Hudu Alaji Hudu, after thorough deliberation, eventually scaled the second reading.
To ensure that this bill, if finally put in place, it will give an opportunity to every local government in the state to have equal, if not equal, but fairly positions in the scheme of affairs of the state government. And also the state cake that is being shared will be fairly distributed to the people.
Similarly, the House adopted observations and recommendations of the Joint Committees on Education, Science and Technology, Health and Human Affairs. The bill is aimed at providing and encouraging girls' child school enrollment by providing free menstrual hygiene products. Major among the recommendations is budgetary provision in 2025 for the program.
We deliberated on recommendations of this committee. They had about 10 items, and we have all agreed on their recommendation of the 10 items. If I have reported exactly what transpired, the committee of the whole say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Chairman House Standing Committee on Environment laid down a report on a bill to regulate and control issuance of land consent to mining entity before the House. The Nasarawa State Water Supply and Sanitation Law 2023 Amendment Bill also passed for assent after going through the necessary adjustment.
A bill for a law to amend Nasarawa State Water Supply and Sanitation Law 2023 and for other matters connected thereto, third reading and pass. Thank you. Please prepare a clean copy of this bill for my perusal and necessary action for onward to His Excellency the Governor of Nasarawa State for his assent.
In the same vein, 3 separate private-sponsored bills also scaled the first reading. From State House of Assembly, Adams Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
The Kaduna State House of Assembly has approved a budget of more than 123 billion naira for the 23 local government areas for the 2025 fiscal year. This followed the adoption of a report by the Chairman House Committee on Appropriation and Implementation, Shehu Yunusa Pambegwa. Hawa Noah Inua reports that the sum covers both capital and recurrent expenditures, with 60% allocated to capital projects and 40% to recurrent expenditure.
The Speaker, Yusuf Dahir Liman, who presided over the proceedings, wasted no time inviting the chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation and Implementation to present his committee's report before the lawmakers. Presenting the bill, Chairman House Committee on Appropriation and Implementation, Yunusa Shehu Pampigwa, explained that the initial budget totaled over 115 billion naira. However, during the budget defense process, several local government chairmen requested supplemental funding for personnel and overhead costs.
Local government also brought their own.
Following the budget defense presentations and a review of budget performance, the committee identified the need for adjustments in several local government budgets. These adjustments, documented in writing by the affected councils, were harmonized with relevant agencies, resulting in a revised budget of over 123 billion naira, before passing its third reading, awaiting executive assent to become a law.
It's hereby passed into law.
When the governor assent the bill, they should sit tight and follow their budget strictly, because there is no as usual. This committee, with the help of this honorable house, will go around the 22 local government to see what we approve for them is what they are implementing in their various local governments. So we are going to go for oversight. So they should make sure that they follow it to the letter.
He urged the local government chairman to utilize the funds judiciously, promoting inclusive governance for the benefit of all Kaduna State residents. In Kaduna, Hawanura Inwa, NTA News.
Kano State House of Assembly has commenced deliberations on the Kano State Information and Technology Development Agency Bill. This is with a view to leverage on the powers of digital transformation in piloting the affairs of the states. Samira Hamisushira reports on these and other engagements during plenary at the hallowed chamber.
When established, will improve transparency, accountability, and information management in governance. It is expected to be headed by a Director General, with representation from key team players from relevant sectors. Meanwhile, the Kano State Social Protection Bill was passed after consideration at the Committee of the Whole, and assented it would focus on emancipating the plight of senior citizens, vulnerable, and children.
Justice Department and agency and non-state actors in the state, and for the matter connected thereto, is thereby passed.
The Social Protection Bill is meant to assist or to come to the aid of the most vulnerable peoples, the less privileged, the aged, old people, to assist people in the areas of education, health, creation of job opportunities, employment.
In another development, the House has adopted a report of the Joint Committee on Housing and Land on Kano State Infrastructure Management Agency Bill 2025. From the Kano State House of Assembly, Samira Hamisushira, NTA News.
The 7-year-old dispute between Basa Kumo and Egbura over the ownership of fish ponds, which led to the killings and destruction of properties in Basa local government area of Kogi State, has been put behind and a new friendship started. This followed a meeting of leaders of the two ethnic groups in the conflict with the Kogi State House of Assembly's Standing Committee on Security, experts in conflict resolution, and security agencies in the states. Jacob Sani was on the entourage of the committee's visit to the affected communities. His reports.
The disputed fish ponds led to the displacement of the inhabitants of Ibiroko, Ogba, and other communities in Basa local government area of Kogi State for years now. The contending issue is who is the first settler in that part of Kogi State. The crisis lingered for years in the local government area.
The place was being ravaged and we have been displaced. Up to now, I think I'm the only person in this community right now.
Trekking from Basa to Lokoja by foot, it's a bitter experience.
Worried by this development, member representing the state constituency, Sunday Dapu, reported the matter to the House during plenary.
About 2 months back, the man went to his farm and met his hotel by our own young men. As if that was not enough, on Wednesday, 28th of October 2024, The residents of Sharia Town and others of God wake up with shocking and sad news. When 3 illustrious sons of the land met their untimely death by the government.
Local security outfit there. We have to get more information that will assist the unraveling and final solution to this issue of internal crisis in Basa. Say hi. Again, say yeah, sir.
The House Standing Committee on Security was mandated to look into the matter. These are members of the Committee on Security and representatives of security agencies in the state on a peace mission to Basa local government area. They believe that prolonged years of unrest in the area would definitely slow down development.
I am hopeful. I am hopeful in the sense that God has given us a new leader in Kogi State today. I'm speaking of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. His coming as a governor at this time is a dawning of a new day for us in Kogi State. Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo is a man of peace. And he wants peace in every area of Kogi State. The only thing we can do for him, he's a governor that has started so well with welfare of Kogites, with development of Kogi State. The only thing we can pay him back with is to live in peace among one another.
To the aggrieved ethnicities, the visit signifies the end of misunderstanding between them.
Only myself with my community were happy if they can retain it to be reality.
Whatever has beginning surely must have an end. We, the wearing community, the leaders, the way we embrace ourselves today, which we have never done before, I think this is just the end.
At the end of the meeting, it is expected that relevant authorities will provide adequate security to guarantee the return of displaced persons in the affected communities. Jacob Sani, NTA News.
And with Jacob Sani's report, we conclude the news this evening. Thanks for watching. I am Ene Ojonugba. Good evening.